Once upon a time there was a town called Hamelin. It was a lovely town by the side of a wide river. It was also full of big houses and beautiful gardens. The townspeople were happy, their cupboards were full of food, and their children were healthy. But one day a pack of hungry rats arrived. They ate all the flowers and vegetables in the gardens. They ran through all the houses and stole all the foods from the cupboards. They stared all the children and their pets. No one knew what to do. The mayor of Hamelin called the people together. "We need a way to get rid of these rats," he said. "Does anyone have any ideas?" Everyone scratched their heads and everyone looked at each other. There was silence. "Very well," said the mayor, holding out a hat. "You must give me a gold coin. Will offer a reward to anyone that can help." The next day a stranger arrived in town. He was dressed in strange clothes and carried a large bag and a wonderful pipe. He stood in the town square and played beautiful tunes for the people. "Who are you?" they asked. "Where are you from?" "They call me the Pied Piper," answered the stranger. "I have come from far away to help you get rid of your rats." As soon as the mayor heard this news, he rushed down to the square. "Is this true?" he asked the piper. "Can you get rid of the rats?" "Of course," he replied. I am a man of my word." "There's a bag of gold for you if you do," promised the mayor. Without another word the piper picked up his pipe and began to play wonderful music. The music made them dream of beautiful woods and valleys. They leaned towards the music as if to follow, and the piper stopped playing. "Don't listen," he told the townspeople, "unless you want to come along with the rats." The people put their hands over their ears and the piper began to play again. At first nothing happened. "Pah," said the mayor, "what a waste of time." But then all of a sudden the people standing there saw a black nose, some whiskers and a pair of bright eyes. A single rat ran into the square. It ran right up to the piper and sat up, watching the man's pipe as if bewitched. Then another rat appeared and rejoined the first. Then another and another. In no time at all, the square was full of rats, all sitting still, staring at the piper. The people were amazed. When they went back to their homes, they found that every single rat had disappeared. "Hooray!" they shouted. "Let's have a party." Next day, the Pied Piper turned up into the square. "I have come for my reward," he said. "Oh, have you?" replied the mayor. "I've been thinking about that. It's a lot of money. Why do we know that the rats didn't just decide to leave town?" "How can you be so sure that you got rid of them?" asked one of the crowd. "Rats don't like music." "You must keep your word," replied the piper sternly. "I'll give you one last chance." "We're not giving you our money," everyone said, "and that's an end to it." The piper turned angrily on his heel and marched to the middle of the square. Without another word, he lifted the pipe to his lips, began to play. He played the most beautiful music that made everyone want to follow him. But the grown-ups put their hands over their ears. "You cannot fool us," they shouted. But then all of a sudden one of the children ran into the square. She ran right up to the piper and stood there. She watched the man's pipe as if in a dream, and another child appeared and joined the first, then another and another. In no time at all, the square was full of children, all standing still, staring at the piper. The piper looked at the people. This would teach you to be true to your word, he shouted as he turned he shouted as he turned away. He lifted his pipe to his lips and began to walk away towards the bridge. He crossed the river and marched up the steep mountain that led to the mountains. The children followed him silently in a long standing line. The townspeople tried to stop their children leaving, but to no avail. They stood and watched them disappear. Then they turned to the mayor. "This is all your fault," they shouted. "You should have kept your promise. Where has she taken them? What on earth are we going to do?" Up in the mountains, the children walked and climbed until they reached the opening to a dark cave. The piper stood aside as they all marched in. Then he put his piper away his pipe and strode into the darkness. But there was one little girl who walked too slowly to keep up with the others. She watched the children disappear into the cave. When the music stopped, it was as if she had awoken from a dream. She scrambled back to the town as quickly as she could. She led the mayor across the river and along the steep path up into the mountains. The people followed silently in a long standing line. When they arrived at the cave, the mayor stepped forward, holding out not one but 2 bags of gold. "Piper," he called out, we have come to say sorry and keep our word. Please come out and claim your reward." The piper came out of the darkness and took the 2 bags. He lifted his pipe to his lips and began to play. One by one, the children came out of the cave, blinking in the sunlight. The people and their children climbed down the mountains back to their lovely town. "Thank goodness that is over," said the mayor. "I hope we never see another rat ever," agreed the townspeople, "but if we do, we know who to call."